this game ends up going the distance here, simply because... Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerdlings of all ages, welcome to the final of the Gfinity £100 free-to-play tournament. Tonight, on the 1st of February, we have our two finalists. They are going to be engaging in a best of three for the lion's share of £100. And spawning on Deadwing is the yellow Zerg player in the bottom right-hand corner, representing Team My Insanity, their newest signing, and absolutely steamrolling through the opposition this evening. It is Petraeus. His opponent spawning in the top right-hand position. We've also seen some of his games this evening, and he's been looking pretty solid himself. It is indeed going to be a PvZ with our blue Protoss player, Lilbow, representing Team Millennium. Alright, so we've had a pretty entertaining day so far, guys. Two very, very good players. We've watched them stomp through the bracket. Very, very impressive. But it comes down to this. £75 first place, £25 for the runner-up. And the players have decided it's going to be concluded in the style of a best of three. Now, big map on Deadwing. Normal to see sort of macro-centric openings. Wouldn't be surprised to see an early Nexus down here. We certainly see a pool first coming down here from our Zerg player. So let's see what kind of openings our players choose to adopt here. In fact, both players going for that macro, as we were talking about. Nexus first, hatch first, and of course as soon as the Nexus is spotted, we'll be going into a very, very quick third hatchery. Coming out of here from Petraeus. The Overlord is going to be sent in the correct direction first, so we will get the spot that Lilbow is in the top right, and that we have got vertical spawns. Now, let's keep an eye out for whether this Overlord is spotted. That's going to end up being pretty crucial here, because it obviously means Lilbow's going to have to scout an awful lot more to see where his opponent is, and for a little while at least Petraeus will have additional info. Now, let's keep an eye out. And the Nexus is spotted now. Okay, he sees the gas. And the oh no, the Overlord also comes into view. Petraeus does not pull the Overlord back. He wants to see absolutely everything. So that means that Lilbow knows Petraeus is also in the bottom right-hand corner. So a useful bit of early game shenaniganry going down there. And the natural expansion hasn't been spotted yet, but considering that is the cybernetics core, I think Petraeus knows what's going on. I think he can assume that the Nexus is in fact there, based on the 4-minute cybernetics core, more or less. And we do indeed have some drones popping down here. We'll be keeping an eye on what the timing is going to be like for the third, as well as what our players are going to be investing their mid-game resources in terms of tech. So far, everything looking reasonably hunky-dory. Got fans of both players in the chat. Pretty excited here. Hope you guys are as well. It's also been a while since I've streamed one of these one-day tournaments. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really enjoying myself, actually. I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, I've spent the last couple of months more or less getting up to speed in my new job. And happy to say I'm quite enjoying it. And that I am also conveniently getting quite up to speed. And that's starting to free up my time a little bit, and it's just making me a little bit more chilled out, and I've got more time to invest into gaming, which is awesome. We have some links now trying to sneak in. Oh, very, very nice last second there on the force field, not wanting to use it unless it was absolutely necessary, but we have got a probe from Lilbow, able to plug that gap now with the pylon as well, and ooh, looks like this probe is going to... Oh dear, there are 3 Zerglings that do get in as well. And there will be a sentry that can force field the ramp and doesn't force field. Oh no! And while this isn't disastrous because it is just a single Zergling on 4 hit points, it's really frustrating because the whole point was to prevent scouting. And you know what? Petraeus has seen everything. Lilbow is going to be kicking himself a little bit for that. But this really is a story of the unstoppable force of the immovable object as far as this tournament is concerned. Because both of these guys have just been playing so well compared to all of their other opponents, and now they must face each other. Only one can be victorious. We'll find out who that ends up being. 3 sentries at a time now being produced here from Lilbow. So very similar to a lot of his other games that we've seen earlier tonight. And the first Forge going down for him as well. Meanwhile, back in Zerg City, Roach Warren, once again on the very edge of the creep between the natural and the third. A pattern with Petraeus that we have seen today. And he's starting to spread those creatures outwards instead of worrying about having to connect his bases with them. He just wants to get as much of a map presence as possible right now. And the sentries are looking like, wow, they're actually going to be supporting a very fast third base from the Protoss. And he's saying, hey, you want a macro? I can macro. Let's see who out macros who. And this could end up being quite important. Because Petraeus, seeing the third base go down, would have several options here. He could take a very quick fourth base himself, because as the Zerg, you want to be one base ahead. Or he could try and go for some sort of huge time to take out this third base. There's only one small problem with that, guys. If we look from Petraeus' point of view, he hasn't spotted the third base has gone down. This Overlord's all the way up here, and there's a chance that this base will be mining for quite some time before Petraeus even notices it's there. And he might not know it's there as well, because look, there's pressure coming across the middle of the map. It's not like Lilbow is just sitting at home and waiting for the base to complete, in which case that might be a little bit of a clue, right? He's actually going to try and be a little bit aggressive with this. He does need to be careful, though, losing one sentry and losing a second one as well, very, very early on in this engagement. But I think this aggression from Lilbow is making Petraeus think that this could be off of 2 bases. The recall does get used. The units are back in the natural expansion, and there is an Overseer now, which I hope Lilbow is going to take out if he wants to prevent the scouting on the third still. But it looks like these units coming across are going to be able to spot it very, very soon indeed. So now, Petraeus has got to be wondering as soon as he sees this, crap, how long has this been mining for? He sees everything now, and he's going, ooh, hang on a second. This isn't necessarily that good. He's going to be putting down his fourth base and trying to play catch-up a little bit. He's not in any sort of disastrous position at all, by the way. And he's actually going up to a very, very quick hive. The infestation pit is about to complete as well. So we could just see very, very fast swarm hosts come out of Petraeus right now. Let's keep an eye on that. And we do, in fact, have the Enduring Locusts upgrade immediately. So, let's see what happens there. And how many swarmers are going to come out on the field. We've already seen Petraeus once today swap up into Mutalisks. Basically halfway between hitting those swarm hosts. Is that going to happen again? A pack of lings now out in the middle of the map. I love this one burrowed ling. Really, really like it. We'll be able to spot when additional resources come by, but with the observer, it does actually get killed off. I love the thought, though. We have a potential ling run by coming up here into the third base location. And wow, it's going to be a double robo coming out from Lilbow. And these lings and roaches, well, these 3 cannons should get taken out very, very quickly indeed. But we have counter-aggression coming out there from Lilbow. He sees, oh no! He sees the swarmers and he's picking them apart. And I'll tell you what, 4 of them can't actually do that much damage. They're a little bit scattered right now. Is this the perfect timing to try and take out Petraeus? These lings and these roaches are still doing some work, but this Warpin should be able to finish it off. And now the question is, how does Petraeus stop this? I'm not sure he can, guys. It's 120 to 113 supply, and Petraeus, every single swarm host player knows that when you're slowly getting swarm hosts out, the most dangerous time of the game is basically when you have fewer than 10 swarm hosts and you're trying to get that nice critical number that forces armies back. Petraeus has not been given that opportunity. His third base now is, oh my goodness, is forfeit. That's a lot of drones getting trapped between those force fields that he can't do anything with. I like, by the way, that he's put them on hold position and borrowed some. It's not going to be enough, though, and Lilbow's attack came at the perfect time. He goes 1-0 up in this best of 3 to determine who wins the Gfinity £100 Cup.